Hello. Hi, my witchy magical friends. How are we? It has been far too long since my last episode. But yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to The Wandering Head Witch with me, The Wandering Head Witch. It is September. We are days away from the autumn equinox. And if you're anything like me, which I'm sure the majority of you are listening to this podcast, uh, it is one of the most magical times of year for a witch, especially if you live in a place that you can celebrate fall seasons or just seasons in general. And fall is that time of year of like rebirth and renewal and revisiting and healing. And it is a time where you see transformations in real time. It is always a blessing when you connect with nature and you can use the seasonal changes in your own life to reflect what you're going through. And I think that fall is one of those beautiful times of year. We tend to get very romanticized about this time of year, which I'm all for. The colors are beautiful, the scents are amazing, the weather is dreamy, and yes, I am a pumpkin spice fan, but I'm just a fall everything fan. I have been since I was a child, as I'm sure you are. September is that last month of summer where we lead into the equinox in what, 2 days? I think 3 days, yeah, the 19th through the 23rd. And then the 23rd is pretty much the official start of fall. For us practicing pagans, a lot of us celebrate Mabon. We started with Lugnessa, and then we celebrate that pagan Thanksgiving, essentially is the best term for it. And it celebrates all that we have harvested from those warmer months into the colder months and what we there's a magpie on my porch just chatting away. But this is the time where the winds of change come wash over us at the same time as us really being grateful for what we have accomplished, for what we have received, for what we've learned. Just like every other year, there are ups and downs, tons of transformations throughout it. I know that a lot of us have gone through, some historical transformations and changes. I every now and again will get on my soapbox about politics or how I feel about the medical industry, or, I try to limit those, but sometimes it comes out. We got very lucky up here where we are in the Rockies. We are high enough where our fall kind of started a little early. It started last week, and well, we've gotten some warm days. Warm for us, y'all, is like 70 degrees, which is phenomenal. So if it like gets above like 75, it's a hot day. The colors are changing, and we've gotten like today's love rainy days, especially rainy days in fall. And we've gotten some really, really nice like sunny days where I've been able to take our daughter on walks and hikes and share with her the colors and the changes. September offers a sacred pause and a time to reflect on a lot of our like energetic and physical harvests, like I said before, but it's also a time to assess what is truly enriching our spirit, what is truly letting that flame, and what we have learned about ourselves and what we want and don't want in our lives. This is the time of year to really focus on that and carrying that into the new year. I love September for that transitional time of summer into fall because it's a good time to set those intentions for the rest of the year and how you want to close out this year. I mean, y'all, we're almost done with this year. Can you believe it? It's like 3 months away, and holy cow, I'm gonna be in 2026. I mean, I remember being like 10 and calculating how old I would be in like 2030. Can't believe I'm actually here. So, how do you want to close this year out? Another reason I really appreciate this time of year and September, it's Virgo season. My husband is a Virgo rising, and it it is, man. You want to talk about someone that thrives during Mercury retrograde or thrive during their own season? Holy crap. My husband has been on his game, and it's really influenced me to get back on my game. Really be involved in my social media more, really be involved on my blog more. If you follow me on Instagram, you see I started to create a new course, which I'm very excited. I used to teach this in Atlanta, but it's an art journaling course. So excited because I'm going to do it too. Love being creative. But this is a good time for those things because, for those of us that do have colder days or colder nights and it hits a little sooner, or, we can start getting snow in a couple weeks, right? So there's going to be a lot of times indoors. So there's a lot of things that we should focus on, what makes us happy and what keeps our minds active. And for me, one of them is being creative. Virgo season brings a great heightened focus to our precision, organization, self improvement, routines, and our purposeful intentions. Really getting clear and specific on our goals and what we want for the rest of the year, and what we want for the coming new year. This is also coming with a new moon in Virgo season next Tuesday, and it's eclipse season. There will be an eclipse on that as well. So this is really bringing to light a lot of the things we keep on the shadow side, that it is time to heal them and let go of them. You can only live in your past so long before you start to realize that you're losing your present. And you really want to stay in the present. You want to stay in that energy and romanticize your life. That's what fall is all about. I love the fall season and seeing everybody's fall pictures because it's so cozy and it's so romantic, and I'm a big fan of that dark academia aesthetic and love seeing people's pictures of just, you know, drinking coffee with friends, or even like I post a lot of the leaves on the ground. It's very pretty. I love it. This is a great time to really like hone in on romanticizing your life. Virgo season, excuse me, is also a great time during the eclipse because it will ignite those personal and collective journeys. So, what journey are you on? What journey are you going to start? What journeys are you planning? But also what journey we are on, like a collective. And, as you know, if you are on social media, there's a lot of collective journeys going on. This is also a good time to really focus on, like I said, what you're manifesting, and what you want to cultivate as growth in your like personal, your professional, your relationships, your love life, if you're a parent, like how you want to go about transforming these things for, your greater good and for the good of your, collective. And before I close out on that, I also want to talk about how September and the fall season is a very good time to heal and embrace the reflection, to release what we no longer need, and, really like for realsies. How many people do you know that when you talk to them, I like to call it the misery Olympics, where they constantly talk about their past. Now, I know it might be contradictory because I do talk about my past a lot on my blog or my podcast, but hopefully shedding light to people going through the same circumstances. But what I'm talking about is, how often do you meet somebody or somebody that constantly talks about the past, like they constantly bring it up. You could tell they need to heal from it, but they don't know how. These are the things that I'm talking about. We all have about us, things that we refuse to let go of. And now is the time. This is a perfect time to really put that stuff away and plant those seeds for the future. Embrace fall in all of its wonderful experiences, the air, the scents, the colors, the outfits, the pictures, and really be present in them. Uh, with that said, before closing out on that fun little catch up, I am doing a fall photo challenge on my Instagram. I've always wanted to do these. They have good intentions, and this year I am setting that intention into a goal and putting action behind it. But I created my first ever fall photo challenge. It starts on the 19th and it ends on the 31st of October. I have the prompts on one of my posts on Instagram, so I would absolutely love if you join me. Um, Tag me, hashtag do the damn thing. But really, it's for you. And I just want to see your pretty pictures. So if you do tag me, that's awesome because I would love to see your pictures. If not, not a big deal. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the judgment detox that fall sort of forces upon us, especially those in the magical community. I know I'm going through a big judgment detox right now. I'm also borrowing this phrase from an amazing self-improvement author, Gabby Bernstein. She not only has taught me a lot, but I absolutely loved that book because I grew up in a family that was like a thing. It was common to judge others, judge each other, judge ourselves, and like judgy, judgy, judgy. And this is a time of year that we should really spread the love, right? And one of the things, like I said, there's something I wanted to talk about. Babble, babble. There's something that I've seen in the magical community where it is common to judge another's practice to boost yourself up. Now, I'm sure this goes on with all businesses. I have seen it on a very basic level with divination. I'm a big divination fan. It is the mass majority of my business. I thoroughly enjoy studying it, practicing it, and I love teaching others about divination. And divination specifically has had a big judgment and like clickiness to it. Lately, I've seen a lot of people, if you like, for example, nothing against tarot cards, nothing against it. There are plenty of people that read tarot cards. I do something unique. I thoroughly enjoy being an oracle and reading oracle cards. And an oracle is someone that channels messages from the gods and spirit guides, ancestors, and channels them through oracle cards to give to you. And there's a lot of like negative connotations towards oracle cards lately. And I've blogged about it before, I've talked about it before. You know, I witnessed it the other day, is why I'm bringing it up. And I just want to say, no matter what form of divination you either enjoy practicing or enjoy getting, know that the message is going to get to you no matter what. It does not matter what form it comes in. It doesn't matter if it's in tarot or oracle cards or pendulum or tea reading or, I actually had a music reading, which was phenomenally interesting. So it doesn't matter how you get the message. So if you do see someone saying that, oracle cards, they don't tell you the truth, but the tarot cards do. Yeah, okay, that's one person's view on it. That's a perception. However you get the message is how you get the message. So that's all I wanted to catch up on today. I did have a lot of other things planned to talk about, but I am honestly bidding time with my daughter taking a nap. But I do want to catch everybody up. I did have a crazy experience where I am teaching or helping, I don't want to say teaching, but helping my husband really understand that it's okay to trust his intuition. Men aren't taught that they have an intuition. They aren't taught that they have that magical gift in them. They don't hone in that energy a lot. And I'm trying to help him trust his intuition because it's superb. But had an experience with that where his intuition was really on point about someone in that we had to see for our daughter in the medical field. I need to do a blog post about that, but I also need to write everything down because whew, it was intense. But other than that, I did want to pull cards, and I got a new deck, which I am very excited about. So, as y'all know, or my husband and I are looking to move to the Pacific Northwest, specifically Oregon. And since then, like I've talked about in episodes and blogs and whatnot, that I'm really honing in on my water magic and my sea witch magic and connecting with my incarnated mermaid spirit. Read from the messages from the mermaid deck. This is why I love Oracle cards, because you could get stuff so specific. And I usually pick Oracle cards to the client. So, if somebody's screaming that they need some goddess energy, I will totally give them a reading from one of my goddess decks. And if somebody needs to connect with their ancestors, I will pull from like an ancestor wisdom deck. And I love it. As long as you are not driving in the car. I want you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and think about what you would like to hear from the cards. What message needs to be heard? What collectively do we need to understand? What path do we need to go about? So, our first card is asking us to share our positivity, to really shine our inner light, to stop hiding who we are, to spread that happiness. There are those about you that just want to dull your sparkle with their negativity and their pain. And understand that that's just a projection and that your positivity shines a light for those that need it. The next card is asking us to wait, to be patient. Things take time. Our dreams will happen for us. We still just have to have faith and patience. Have patience with ourselves, have patience with each other. And the last card, enjoy the mystery. Enjoy the mystery of who you are. Enjoy the mystery of life. There is a light in the darkness, but you still have to go through the dark to get there. Enjoy the journey. Thanks everyone for stopping by and taking a listen today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. And if I don't do another podcast for the new moon, I will see you next week. Have a great one.